Another edition of Nourie's Niche. Trying to just share some real basic, fundamental flatland tricks for the old and the young and everyone in between. Hopefully just to give you some simple tricks that you can add to your list relatively quickly and then advance from there, just kind of covering some fundamentals and some of the old school tricks that I've been doing for many years. Today, it's a little bit chilly, a little drizzly out, but I do want to keep my commitment to doing one a day. So I decided to do a quick session and come up with a real simple combination so I can get it done before it gets too dark. So today's trick is just a link or a combination of two tricks. We're going to do hang five and then go into wheel walk. So you do want to have a front brake. I think you could probably do it without a front brake, but I would recommend a front brake because it's making it a lot easier. And it's just a good little combination. Over the years, I've done variations of this where I would do like a hang 10, so no footed hang 5, then the wheel walk, and then step over into freak squeak, then step back and do like mixed circles. So this is like the first step of maybe many other combinations that you can think of on the front wheel that are pretty basic. This is a pretty simple trick, but I'll point out a couple things that I think could help in the learning curve to make it a little bit easier and quicker to pick up. So thanks again for all the comments. Someone has mentioned a Vander roll. I will be doing a Vander roll. I'm still recovering from my injury when I really ate it bad doing a Gumby, and my ribs are still pretty bruised. So I want to heal up all the way before I do the Vander roll. But I will do a video on the Vander roll. I also plan to do one on the Miami Hopper and a couple other ones that are a little bit more advanced tricks, but still I consider basic in the world of flatland that we live in today. So stay tuned, they will be coming. But please keep the comments coming. Love the suggestions. I love seeing pictures and videos of people working out some of the tricks that I've shared, and new combinations or ideas is always welcome, and I appreciate it. So here we go, hang 5 into wheel walk. So start off moderate speed, go with the left foot on, do a nice little, then stop, walk, down, roll out. So pretty basic, but it's cool to link the tricks, right? And like I said, you can do other things. You could do maybe a no footer and then stop and do a wheel walk, and then stop and step over to freak squeak, and then step back over and do mixed circles. Like there's so many different combinations that you can link into this. And I think this is just a good fundamental because you're learning how to control your hang 5s to a point where you stop, you keep your balance, and you're not going to go too far over, not too far back, just stop right at the right point and then start walking backwards. So that's, I think, the key. And what else can I tell you about it? I think that's pretty much about it. It's just finding that balance point and that sweet spot and being able to slow down and stop just right. So I'll try to demonstrate it and talk you through it as I'm doing it. But when you're doing your hang 5, you're locked in. I'm slowly grabbing the brake, and then I'm going to grab the brake really hard and then wedge my foot. And obviously that time I was too far back. So you want to stay in that sweet spot right here where you're basically there to do your wheel walk. So that's the ideal, is when you stop, you're right there, maybe even a little bit farther forward, so that when you start to pump backwards and release the brake, you can stay at that balance point. So again, you're going to go, wonder if I should do it sideways. Hold on. I'm going to do it this way so you can maybe see this angle. So like this, stop. You see how I'm like right there, right as I do the hang 5. It's like, that's another way to practice, is just be able to practice doing your you know, going up into your wheel walk. That's the same motion, right? Where you're gonna put your foot in the tire and step on the peg, but when you're doing the combination, your foot is obviously already on the peg, but it's that same motion. So again, once you're doing your hang five, you're in that sweet spot, you stop maybe a little bit ahead of it. I think that's going to help because you're generally going to start to think about your weight coming back. And if you're too far down, it's easy, like I did that one time, it's very easy to just to drop the rear end down. So a little bit steep, stop, and then stay in that locked in position to where you're locked in that balance point where you're standing on the peg and at the same time you're sitting on the seat. So there's a connection between how you distribute your weight. If you're just on the peg and the seat is floating around, it's going to be harder. It's going to be harder to do this. I saw a video of a younger rider that was doing that, and I'll try to demonstrate it again. And I don't know how he was doing it, but it's kind of like that. Yeah, it's doable, but I feel you might as well take advantage of what you have here, which is the basic physics, and that's that locked in position, right? Where you're pushing down on the front peg at the same time as you're sitting down, at the same time you're pushing your bars. So it's almost like your bars help you to lock in that position. Sometimes I like to do it against a fence or something, so I can hold it in position, stalled. So here I am, and I'm really thinking about not going over the bars. Whoa. Okay, come on. I'm really thinking about how I'm sitting down, pushing my leg, and pushing my bar. So there's three connections, and that locks it in. So I feel like that's the key to learning this trick. This link is going from the hang five, and once you're stopped, you're still all three parts are locked in, and then you start to walk back. So that's the first step. Second step is just doing the wheel walk. And I think for that one, I like to do two-footed, but it's kind of your preference. So let me just do another. Let's see how I'm feeling, if I can do even another variation of the combo. So we're going to do a hang five, a little bit of a hang 10, and then I stop. Oh, I didn't really get it. So that was a perfect example. I tried to do one other level, which would be a no-footer, but I don't know if you noticed, but when I got into in the stop position, I was a little bit low. That's where I think emphasize on being a little bit too high, and then you can compensate that by kicking your tire right away and starting moving backwards. So let's do that one again. It's simply going to be a hang five, hang 10, stop, oh, 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 oh. Okay, a little sketchy, wasn't the prettiest, but you got the idea, right? So step two is doing that wheel walk part. So let's just kind of break that down. I did a video on this before, so you can go back and look at that. But I think the easiest is to start with one foot and then go two. So if I just go from the Indo position, I'm going to go one. Hold on. I'm going to go from 1 foot to start, then 2 feet. Okay? So I think practice that. Practice your hang five. Practice your wheel walks. Make sure you got both those dialed. And then just work on that transition point, being that you're locked in, your arms, your foot, and you're sitting down. And then you can start wheel walking back. And then, yeah, do it however feels comfortable. Either it's one-footed and you're just keeping 1 foot on the peg, or I kind of like it and it feels kind of cool to do 2 feet. It also seems like when you do a really long one, especially if there's music on and you can kind of do it to the beat, it looks a little bit flashier, better response from the audience if you're right in front of people. So I would recommend working on 2-footers, but 2-footer wheel walk, but not necessary. Whatever feels right. So let's see if we can do the whole little link here. Boom, no footer, stop, wheel walk, down, boom. Okay, so the third step is just riding out. And I just basically drop down to the pegs, do like a half turn, grab the brake and jump to the pedals. That for me is the easiest. Now you can do all kinds of variations from that, whatever you feel like. If you just want to go to the pedals, you could do that. I think 9 out of 10 times I would go to the pegs because for some reason it just seems really easy to, I got a lot of like leeway with the feet on the pegs. So that's it, 1, 2, 3, easy as that. Love to see some footage if you get that trick down, or if you need some help or some pointers specifically on what you might be struggling with, just let me know. And once again, I appreciate all the follows and all the shares and the comments. So please keep them coming, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much.